important truths about men and women are ignored, dismissed, or outright condemned? Why we are told that men and women are the same, despite the evidence of nature, history, and human behavior. Schopenhauer didn't shy away from these questions. He confronted them with brutal honesty. He believed that women are governed by instinct rather than reason, that their power lies not in strength or intellect, but in manipulation, beauty, and emotional influence. He argued that love, far from being a deep connection, is simply a biological trick, a fleeting illusion designed to serve nature's purpose, not our happiness.
This is interesting. Very interesting. But when he says nature, it's the nature of the devil, 100%. That's not God's nature.
This is just the beginning. His views remain some of the most controversial in philosophy, not because they are outdated, but because they force us to ask uncomfortable questions. Schopenhauer argued that this is because happiness is not real in the way we imagine it. It is not a destination,
Amazing.
not a permanent state. Think about it. If everything we believe about love, relationships, and gender is based on illusion, what does that mean for the way men and women interact today? And if Schopenhauer was right, what are the consequences of ignoring these differences? There is more to this than most are willing to admit. Let's uncover it. Few aspects of Schopenhauer's philosophy are as debated, dismissed, and fiercely criticized as his views on women. His writings on the subject were unapologetic, cutting, and to many, deeply offensive. Yet despite the outrage they continue to provoke, his arguments were not made out of mere resentment. They were based on what he saw as biological and psychological truths. Schopenhauer viewed women as ruled by nature, not reason. He believed their emotions, instincts, and desires shape their decisions far more than logic or higher thought.
100%.
Unlike men, who he saw as striving toward ambition, philosophy, and intellectual achievement, women in his eyes were content with the immediate and the superficial, focused on security, social status, and fleeting pleasures, rather than grand ideals. These ideas were not formed in a vacuum. Schopenhauer lived in a time when women were largely excluded from intellectual and professional life, reinforcing his perception that they had no inclination for deep thought. His personal experiences, including a famously bitter relationship with his mother and failed romantic pursuits, likely fueled his disdain. But despite the historical context, his core argument was not about social roles. It was about nature itself. Even today, his views remain unsettling. In an era that champions equality, the suggestion that fundamental differences between men and women extend beyond culture into the realm of instinct and cognition is widely rejected. Yet Schopenhauer was not trying to be polite. He was trying to expose what he saw as reality. Whether one agrees or not, his perspective forces an uncomfortable question. Are we
Just want to say, when you are awakened and you can see what's happening and you will tell the truth, and it doesn't matter because the truth is actually love. When you tell the truth, people will come at you. They will try to destroy you because people do not like the truth, and they're children of the lie. They're from the devil, Satan. They'll do anything to not hear the truth because they're not ready to seek after what is right and be one with God. People love their hell, so just let them stay in their hell. You cannot save them. You can't even save yourself. And if you notice when you start working on yourself that you are not the person saving yourself, it's being in the present with God, and God is actually shining a light and all these things to help you see so you can work and be better and be closer to God. That's so interesting.
Shaped purely by society? Or is there a deeper biological truth we refuse to accept? Schopenhauer saw men and women as fundamentally different, not because of culture or education, but because of nature itself. In his view, men are driven by ambition, achievement, and the pursuit of greatness, while women are guided by instinct, survival, and immediate concerns. These differences are not accidental, but deeply rooted in biological necessity. Men, he argued, are built for creation, competition, and legacy. Their drive to invent, build, and conquer comes from a desire to leave a lasting mark on the world. Whether through intellectual pursuits, warfare, or artistic achievement, men seek to transcend the present, striving towards something greater than themselves. This relentless ambition, however, comes at a cost: restlessness, dissatisfaction, and an inability to find peace in simple pleasures. Women,
I'm glad that that point actually came up because being ambitious, being want to leave a legacy, being driven, being you want to leave something on this earth, it will cause you to have misery because that is still the desire of the flesh. It's still the same spirit that is driving the woman because you're in the fallen state, right? You're going at it and you're not seeing any results, and now you start judging yourself. You're playing God because you how why are you judging yourself? And by judging yourself, you go into thoughts, you go unconscious. And when you go unconscious, you get the feeling of anxiety, depression. Whatever feeling you get in that moment when you judge yourself, that's from the devil, Satan. And it will drive you to action. You want to let it out. So you may find a scapegoat, like, play video games just to get rid of the stress, go to club, have sex with a woman just to get way of that. And if not, you go to the picture on your phone, pornography and stuff like that, just to escape for a minute. But you're gonna escape for a minute, but you're gonna end up back in the same place that you were before because you have no peace in your life. Peace is not a feeling. It's not a feeling at all. You're just there in the loneliness. And loneliness doesn't exist. So only because you have identified that spirit. But you're in there, let's first say loneliness. You're in it. Anxiety, you're in it. Just sit in it and observe it. It's not you. It's because you have identified with those things that you think it is you, which is interesting. I'm glad they touch on that point. No matter how much you achieve, you will not be at peace. Because my boss, they make crazy amount of money because of the work I'm in. And then yet they're still not at peace. I've seen it. It's crazy. But let's continue.
in contrast, prioritize security over conquest, stability over ambition. Their focus, according to Schopenhauer, is not on reshaping the world, but on navigating it for survival. He believed that women, being more tied to nature, are pragmatic in their desires, seeking protection, comfort, and certainty rather than risk, struggle, or ideological pursuits. Because
They would definitely everything that what this guy just said is spot on. But you, the man that have achieved things, they're gonna use you and conquer you to get what they want. That's why they're manipulative. They're cunning because they plan. And when they plan, they go into thoughts, which is from the devil, and they plan. That's what they do. So be aware of
of
that.
this, he argued, women are often more content than men, as they do not carry the same existential burdens. This fundamental divide in values shapes everything, from relationships to societal structures. Men chase power and accomplishment, often at the expense of personal happiness. Women, attuned to survival, influence from the shadows, shaping events not through force, but through emotional and social maneuvering. For Schopenhauer, this was not a question of equality, but of different purposes. While men dream of changing the world, women ensure the world continues as it is. This distinction, whether one accepts it or not, defines the very fabric of human interaction. Schopenhauer believed that while men seek power through conquest, intellect, and dominance, women achieve influence in a far more subtle, indirect manner. He argued that women do not pursue power through force or direct control, but through persuasion, charm, and emotional leverage, weapons that are often more effective than brute strength. Unlike men, who shape the world through innovation and ambition, women, in Schopenhauer's view, shape the world by shaping men. They do not compete in open battle, but exert control through suggestion, influence, and carefully crafted illusions. Their strength does not lie in authority, but in their ability to sway the decisions of those who hold it.
See what I'm saying? The man's gonna strive to build society uplifted, create something great. Meanwhile, the woman, she's just living life and hope the world doesn't change. And her thing is built on surviving. And the way she survives is being manipulative, emotionally in tune, so she can manipulate you when she get to you and convince you. And that's how women are. So interesting. And that's how they control you and get what they want from you. They will even conform to what you, the man, want, just so they can get what they want. Interesting. That's why you need to work in yourself, man. Don't want for nothing. Only seek after what is right, the kingdom of God. How is she going to use that against you? By becoming a church woman? Not really, because you're walking in the light of God, you will see the falsehood inside of her. 100%. And you shouldn't go date a woman and saying, oh, she's my type. She's my type of girl. I want to make her to be my wife. Because that's a thought setting you up to be with the deceiver. The woman which have made the devil her God. And you're going to listen to your thoughts to be with the woman that have made the devil her God? That's crazy. Well, let's continue. I like
in
this.
particular, is one of the most potent tools of influence. Schopenhauer saw it as a fleeting but powerful force, a tool that grants women advantages in social and romantic dynamics. But beauty alone is not enough. It is combined with emotional intuition, the ability to read others, anticipate reactions, and manipulate situations to achieve desired outcomes. This form of power is often invisible, yet it dictates the course of relationships, family structures, and even political affairs. This dynamic extends beyond personal relationships and into society itself. Historically, while men have ruled openly, women have often influenced from behind the scenes, guiding kings, shaping leaders, and controlling outcomes through carefully placed whispers rather than bold proclamations. Schopenhauer did not frame this.
This reminds me of Delilah, Herodias, Jezebel, and there's some more women in the Bible, which is insane. It's funny because who came first, Schopenhauer or the Bible? These things that you need to learn, they're actually in the Bible. But progression happened. People fall away from Christ, from knowing the Bible. Even I did. I'm part of it because I'll be in this relationship. I'll do my thing. I'll a slut maker, whatever, and it was never working out. It was so funny. And I'm like, something is wrong. What's wrong? I had to take a look at myself, not the people, because whatever happened in the relationship was already happening inside of me. So I had to take a look at myself and work on myself. And after I started, I asked God. It's so funny. I asked God to show me any darkness that is inside of me, anything that I need to work on. And the same day or the next day, it happened. I was like, this is crazy. And from that point on, I've never looked back. I've just been looking straight ahead, staying in the, day by day, stay in the present and working on myself, and everything just get revealed to you. You're not thinking; it just gets revealed to you. That's how it works. Revelations. Ooh.
This as a weakness, but as a different form of dominance. Men build empires, but women shape the men who build them. In his eyes, power is not always about who sits on the throne. It is often about who controls the one sitting on it. Schopenhauer believed that one of the greatest differences.
I disagree to somewhat extent. The only reason why she can influence the guy to make these decisions is because the guy hasn't overcome the woman. He hasn't overcome the woman. He's still subjective to the woman. That's why she can still control him and manipulate him. So I totally understand what he's saying. Totally understand. But that's crazy though.
Between men and women was their relationship to time. Men, he argued, are obsessed with the future, constantly striving for long-term goals, chasing legacy, and building towards something greater. Women, on the other hand, are more attuned to the present, prioritizing immediate needs and security over abstract ambitions. To Schopenhauer, this was not a flaw, but a reflection of nature's design.
I don't think women stay in the present. I don't think so. I think both man and woman struggles with the same thing. They struggle with the past and the present, the past and the future, I should say. Because you would be with a woman and yet she'd judge you, and then she go into her thoughts and said, oh, I can do better. That's actually focused on the future. I can do better than you as a man. Especially if she start making more money than you. She's gonna be like, I can do better than this guy. Or she's like, my future needs to do good because I don't want to be working all the time. I want a man that can provide and protect me better than what you're doing. Or she go in her thoughts, create ideas, create image or of what the future would look like. You notice when you're with a woman, they ask you, what can you do for them? What would their first date look like? I don't know. Let's just go on a date and see what it's like. I'm not gonna plan it. Let's just go. I'll figure it while we do it, right? They'll go into thoughts, create this idea of who you are when they meet you and date you, and they'll think about the fantasy of the marriage and all that stuff, setting yourself up in the long run because you don't know what the relationship's going to be. And when it doesn't meet your standard that you have created in your thoughts, well, it's not what it used to be. I don't feel the same, or you don't prioritize me. It depends on how you get in the relationship with her. You were giving her all the attention, catering to her, taking her all these nice days, blah 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 blah, and she's gonna judge you off that because you're not doing it anymore. She's gonna want someone else can do the same thing because she wants to have that feeling that they're talking about in this video, that is fake, that is not real, right? That's why most relationships do not work. But let's continue.
Women, focused on stability and survival, tend to seek comfort, social harmony, and practical benefits. They are less likely to risk everything for a distant dream or an uncertain reward. In contrast, men sacrifice comfort, health, and even relationships in pursuit of greatness. This relentless ambition, while often destructive, is what drives progress, invention, and the shaping of history. This difference in time perception influences nearly every aspect of decision making. In relationships, Schopenhauer saw women as naturally drawn to men who could provide immediate stability, rather than those who lived for uncertain future success. In social dynamics, he believed women focused on securing favorable conditions in the moment, rather than long-term ideological battles. Even in personal
I could see
desires,
that.
he saw them as less likely to be consumed by existential worries or grand philosophical pursuits, choosing instead to engage in what brings immediate satisfaction. The question then is whether this should be seen as a weakness or a different form of intelligence. Is it wise to trade momentary pleasure for uncertain rewards? Is male ambition a virtue or merely another form of suffering? Schopenhauer did not present an answer, only the observation that men live for what could be, while women master what already is. Schopenhauer saw love not as a deep, transcendent bond, but as a biological deception, an illusion created by nature to ensure reproduction. He believed that what people call love is not a spirit.
That is not true. That's not true. I disavow. I disavow that point. Uh, love is not created for to wait. What did he say exactly? Because I don't want to misquote what he just said.
That men live for what could be, while women master what already is. Schopenhauer saw love not as a deep, transcendent bond, but as a biological deception, an illusion created by nature to ensure reproduction.
That love, that deep bond, da 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 da, to create babies, whatever. That's not what love is created for. That's not even love. It's just feelings. It's just feelings that are not real. It's not true. They're not real, not one bit. Because if you truly love your partner, why would you divorce them? Why would you get so crazy, hot damn, through the divorce? You have no love. No love, not one bit. And marriage is for making babies. That's why God made Adam and Eve. Well, when they fell, they awakened their nature, which is, you see her naked, now she starts seeing him naked, and their nature awakened. And God said, well, go forth, multiply, da 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 da. You will suffer, you and the snake. And now I put enmity between you. You guys will be enemies for the rest of your life until you overcome it, da da da. Which is the thoughts, unconsciousness. Crazy. But, yeah. Marriage is to make babies. There's no such thing as emotional, affectionate love. It's all lies. All lies all the time. That's not from God. That's not true love. True love is telling the truth. And that's what true love is. Telling the truth, whether you like it or not. That's what love is. Because I love you. That's the truth. That's it. There's no feelings in it. There's no feelings. There's no judgment in it. There's no resentment. And when you tell the truth, you have no emotional reaction to it. That is actually love from God. True love.
He believed that what people call love is not a spiritual connection or a grand destiny, but a calculated instinctual force designed to serve one purpose: the continuation of the species. Attraction, in his view, has little to do with compatibility or personal fulfillment. Instead, it is dictated by subconscious biological needs. Men are drawn to youth and
Subconscious biological needs that was instilled in you from when you were growing up as a kid by your mother. That's what that is. That is all that is. Nothing more, nothing less. And it's evil. It's not even love. It's not even affection. It was just taught to you. It can't be taught to you. You just know. And it's from God. That's it.
beauty, not because of romance, but because these traits signal fertility. Women seek strength, status, and security, not because of devotion, but because they provide survival advantages. What appears as emotional
That's
connection
actually true.
is, at its core, a programmed strategy for reproduction and protection. Schopenhauer argued that deception is woven into love itself. Both men and women manipulate to achieve their desires.
That is true. That is
Men
true.
feign commitment to access intimacy,
That is
while
true.
women use affection to secure stability.
That is true. I can't
These
disagree.
tactics are rarely conscious, yet they govern relationships, ensuring that both parties play their evolutionary roles. The tragic
But that's evil, right? You can see how evil and diabolical that is because it's all about. I go into a relationship. It's all about my needs. She comes into relationships. It's all about her needs, and we try to manipulate each other emotionally, and he manipulate her with material things to get what he wants and what she wants. Pure evil. Just two evil going at each other for control. You control her that way by giving her what she wants, and she's happy, and then she controls you by giving you affection and love, and as long as she's getting what she wants in return, I'm fine. But at some point, it will go crazy because it never lasts. Because guess what? She's gonna start seeing your. Well, she's gonna judge you for your weakness, 100%, because you need her, and she noticed that. She's gonna use it against you, which is interesting. But let's continue.
irony is that once
Probably to
love
control you
has
even
served
more.
its purpose, once attraction has led to reproduction or stability, its intensity fades. What was once seen as eternal proves fleeting, and the illusion crumbles.
I've never seen this video before, but I don't miss, man. I don't miss. I don't miss. But at least this guy
Romantic
knows it.
ideals do not hold up under cold reason. Love is not selfless, not pure, not eternal. It is a carefully constructed trick of nature. The poets and dreamers
It is actually selfless and it is actually pure when you see where true love actually comes from. It's God's nature, love. And when you can access it, it's amazing. But in this form, this love that he's talking about is not real love. It's fake love. It's from the devil. That's Satan's nature to deceive you. And that's what that is. But I do like this video though.
may write about devotion, but Schopenhauer saw through it. Love is not about happiness. It is about biology. And once this is understood, the entire foundation of romance collapses under the weight of its own illusion. Schopenhauer saw women as essential to the structure of society, but believed their influence should remain contained rather than expanded. He argued,
Too late for that, buddy. Look at society. It's going down the drain.
because women were driven by emotion, instinct, and immediate concerns, giving them greater influence in shaping laws, politics, or philosophy would weaken societal stability rather than strengthen it.
I don't miss. It's too bad. It's already happening.
To him, a well-functioning society required order and discipline, values he associated with male governance. He viewed women's priorities, security, comfort, and interpersonal relationships as necessary for family life, but ill-suited for leadership in broader social structures.
100%.
In his eyes, their influence, when unchecked, led to a society that prioritized emotion over reason, personal benefit over long-term vision. But has history proven him right?
Yes.
The modern world
Somewhat,
has
yes.
reshaped gender dynamics entirely. Women now play significant roles in politics,
Which is crazy.
business, and intellectual thought. Yet the same tensions Schopenhauer warned about still exist. The debate over
Buddy, I'm gonna be real with you. I like this video. But this was in the Bible before Schopenhauer even existed, right? I think so. Wasn't the Bible right before Disney? I think so. But that's crazy though. That's crazy. That's why you men need to find your way back to God so you see what is right and not what you feel is right. Is these women They manipulate and control these politicians and these young men to get them to be crazy. I can't even explain it. It's just crazy, man. I don't want to talk. I'm going to take too long if I talk about it. So just watch the video.
Whether modern society has benefited or suffered from these shifts remains unresolved. Are the increasing emotional and moral appeals in politics an evolution or a decline? Has the balance of power between the sexes created a more just world, or has it introduced instability under the guise of progress? Despite centuries of change, certain dynamics remain the same. Women continue to wield influence through indirect means, shaping culture, trends, and social attitudes. The modern world has given them greater autonomy, but their core instincts, prioritizing security, relationships, and stability, remain unchanged. Schopenhauer's views may seem outdated, but the questions he raised persist. Has society evolved in a way that aligns with human nature, or is it moving against it? And if so, what are the consequences of ignoring these fundamental differences?
Destruction.
Schopenhauer's views on women remain some of the most controversial in philosophy, not because they are easily disproven, but because they force a confrontation with uncomfortable truths. Modern society insists that gender differences are largely the result of conditioning, yet Schopenhauer argued that they are rooted in biology, not social constructs. And if that is true, then no amount of cultural reshaping can fully erase the fundamental distinctions between men and women.
It's not biology, it's the nature that we were built to be governed by the order. And if you can say somewhat biology, okay, but I mean, you growing up and your mom give you body to body affection, is it biology or is it conditioning? That's something I'm gonna have to smoke on, not literally, okay? But yeah, that's something I have to think about. I don't want to think about it now, but it's nature. Just leave it at that for now.
The debate over nature versus nurture continues to divide opinion. Are women naturally more focused on security and relationships, or has society simply trained them to be this way? Are men truly wired for ambition and conquest, or have they been conditioned to see life as a struggle for dominance?
Both.
While social norms certainly play a role, Schopenhauer believed that instinct is stronger than ideology. Ignoring these differences does not eliminate them. It only creates confusion, resentment, and unrealistic expectations. When men and women are told they should think, act, and desire the same things, frustration follows. Relationships suffer, social structures become unstable, and individuals feel disconnected from their natural inclinations. The push for sameness, Schopenhauer would argue, does not lead to harmony. It leads to misunderstanding. And that is the final, uncomfortable truth. Men and women may never fully understand each other. They are driven by different priorities, shaped by different instincts, and wired for different forms of power. This does not mean coexistence is impossible. It means that expecting total alignment is a mistake. Instead of forcing an artificial sameness, perhaps the only real path forward is acceptance of difference, no matter how unsettling that truth may be.
That was a great video. I will admit it. There's some things I do agree with in there, some things, not so much. But overall, great way of, breaking things down, I've been there. I've known those things, but when you read the Bible, it's just right there, plain out in sight. You can't miss it. It's just there. But let me know what you guys think of this video. Come on, like the video, subscribe, comments below. 100 likes and I'll react to this one over here. Women are an illusion. I would love to see that. But 100 likes on this one, and we'll do that one. But I'll link this guy channel in the not the description, but in the title of the video if you want to go see it for yourself or watch his video. But let me know what you guys think. See you in another video.